myself anything but an ordinary person, but I have extraordinary beliefs in myself. That extra. I will do that extra to make sure that those things that I say that I want to do, I'll make that effort until it becomes acceptable. And whatever I'm doing, it is the best that I can do at the moment. Even if I didn't prepare well enough, for example, I should have checked my camera to see that it was which camera I was going to use, and I didn't. And for this reason, I was thinking that my camera wasn't working properly. However, my camera was working properly. Now you hear me turning pages because my book fell on the floor. My book fell on the floor, and I had to pick it up and find my page. And so tonight, I may very well be talking from my head, but it will be coming from my heart. So tonight, we're talking about extraordinary. And when we do things that are extraordinary, those things are just things that we have routinely done in minuscule manner. If you want to perfect anything, as I often say, start small and then let it blossom into whatever it is supposed to become. As I said tonight, I was wanting to be both on YouTube and Facebook. I have successfully done that. I am sharing also live, I think, on my feed. But if I'm not sharing on my feed, I will definitely do that. But my goal is to record for you on Facebook and YouTube something of value every day, every night, every morning, every afternoon, depending upon when you're watching, something of value. For those of you that are watching me now, if you can hear me, I'd like for you to just let me know that you can hear me clearly, and that would be fantastic. If you can't hear me, you can just maybe type something in the chat. Hey, Cheryl, thanks for watching. Tonight, I'm talking about extraordinary. And when I think about extraordinary, it's just doing a little bit more than the norm, doing just a little bit more than the norm. And this is what extraordinary looks like. I have been up since 3 a.m. this morning. And during that time, I have been working on things, working on activities, for example, lesson plans, things that I believe that will benefit you, the English language learner. And that leads me now into the segue of owning your voice. You've heard me talk endlessly about the new program that is owning your voice. If you've tried many different programs to perfect your conversational English, you spent money taking tests that resulted in a no pass. You've paid for courses that resulted in your dropping the course. You have actually attended schools or universities and you feel like the class is just too large for you to get that individual attention that you desperately need. What you might need is something extraordinary. And this is what you might find in my Owning Your Voice program. In the Owning Your Voice program, you will not, let me make sure that you're understanding, you will not be left alone. You will have me for 3 consecutive months as your coach. I will work with you for 3 consecutive months, and each week you will have 3 weekly meetings. You'll have those 3 weekly meetings to make sure that you are on the right path to reach the goals that we set for each other. Not set for each other, but what we set for you as the non-native English language learner. We're going to talk about what specifically you need to improve your ability to be confident and speak English with fluency. And you should be able to do that with some recognizable difference within a 3-month period. I hope that this is appealing to many of you, and I want you to think about what you're hearing me say right now And at the end of this session, I want you to look in the comment section in Facebook or in YouTube to find the link to schedule an appointment to speak with me personally so that we can outline what it is that you will do to reach your level of achievement. I've had lots of students to meet with success in my programs. You can also find my programs on my website, Speak Excellent English. Now let's talk about what is required to achieve small goals. You first have to believe that you have enough stamina, energy, and the desire to be successful. And if your first language is not English and you want to be able to capitalize on English, you will need to do something other than the ordinary. You will have to do the extra. One thing I do know about non-native English speakers is that many of you can speak more than one language, which means you are already speaking your native language and some other language, and you're trying to learn English. That is giving you a level of expertise already that you know how to do something. And I want you to think about how you manage to learn that second language as you embrace the idea of learning to speak English. If you only have your one language, I want you to think about something that you are successful in already. It could be driving a car. It could even be baking a cake. It could be just something simple. But that one thing that you're able to do without really thinking about it, it is because you started small and you built on it. And by repetition, you got better and better and better at it. I remember when I first started to drive, my mom taught me how to drive. And I was a nervous wreck, maybe even a basket case, some might say. And I thought, once I get my license, I will never, ever speed. I will never pass another car. I would obey all the rules. No one had to worry about me because I was going to do everything that I was supposed to do as a privileged driver of a car. Well, many years ahead of that time when I said those things, I have had one traffic ticket. I have passed the speed limit while driving. I sometimes eat while I'm driving. And I even drive sometimes with just one hand on the steering wheel instead of 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Why can I do that? I can do that because I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I know how to observe from the left. I know how to observe from the right. And I know how to look ahead and use my rearview mirror to see what the traffic is like behind me. So I would consider myself a safe driver. You may be wondering, how does this relate to me as a non-native English speaker? It's simple. Once you start to learn in an organized or in a formal way, it is going to seem slow, that you're not making progress, that you want to move a little bit faster. But I want to ask you, what you're doing now, are you achieving the goal that you want? Are you moving along as fast as you want, doing it the way that you're doing it? And if you are, continue. I applaud you. If what you are doing is successful, there is absolutely no reason for you to change. Now, my mother practically taught herself how to drive. She went the long route. She first bought herself a car, and we had a large round driveway. So she would drive around the driveway. She would come back around the driveway, go around and around until she felt comfortable teaching herself to drive. And when she got her driver's license, oh man, She took her 3 daughters with her everywhere she went. And it was there that I realized if my mom could learn how to drive and buy a car and do all the things that she did for us as a mother, for her daughters, there isn't anything that I could say that would stop me. Hello, Labarana. Thank you so much for joining me. And if I didn't say, I want to say again, Cheryl, thank you so much for joining me as well. I'm really happy that my Facebook family and my YouTube family is joining me tonight. If there is something that you'd like to ask, please post that question in the chat, and I will try my very best to answer. And if you are unable to leave a comment, most likely it is because you have not joined YouTube. And that's perfectly fine for me. I'm really happy that you're here. And what I'm going to say doesn't necessarily require you to respond unless you have a question. If you have a question and you're watching and you can't respond on Facebook or you can't respond on YouTube, then you will need to join Facebook. And I know you can leave all types of comments there. And I do read all comments, both on Facebook and all comments on YouTube as well. Now, the story that I was telling you is about my mother my mother had 6 kids. My mom and dad had 6 kids, and that was a handful. How do I know that it is a handful? It's a handful because I only have one. I have one son, but I have a daughter niece. I consider her my daughter, so I call her my daughter niece. So maybe I should say I have 2 kids, and they were a handful in comparison to what my mother and father had. And we managed. I had to set up systems in order for them to be ready to go to school during the day. I had a system for them when they came home, and I had a system for them for bedtime. Before they would, in the mornings, they had their allotted time in the bathroom. They had their allotted time downstairs for breakfast, and they had the specific time that they should be outside waiting for the bus. So there was no missing a bus. There was no missing a bus in my house. When I missed the bus one time living with my parents, we had to walk to school. And I knew missing a bus was not something that I was ever going to do again. And I didn't want my children to experience having to walk to school. I'm not so sure that I would make them walk to school anyway, but we had systems in place. There was a system for a checklist. Here in the States, if you go to a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, Hardee's, Chick-fil-A, they have a checkout list in the bathroom, like who cleans the bathroom and the time that they clean the bathroom and checked it off. In our bathroom, I had a checklist for them, for my son and my niece to check. Did you brush your teeth? Did you comb your hair? Did you clean the sink? And all of those things were done in a systematic way. Because when I got home from work and they got home from school, we didn't have a lot of time to do a whole lot of stuff. We just had time to do what we needed to do and live so that we could organize ourselves in a meaningful way. And that is what I'm saying about learning a language. Once you build that routine, you don't think about it. You just walk into the bathroom, you reach for your hairbrush, you reach for the toothbrush, you brush your teeth, put the toothbrush back in the holder, comb your hair, brush your hair, leave out, go downstairs, and be ready to go out the door. And when you do things like that, you will be amazed at how quickly things move along. If you are employed in a company, or even if you are a student, the reason that you have a teacher or professor, it isn't because you can't learn this material on your own. But most likely, most people know that people are not going to take it upon themselves to do what they need to do. And this is why you have someone like myself or a professor or someone in the authority role, like your parents, who are going to give you structure and guidance so that you can do the things that you need to do. Okay, so La Marana says, that's an awesome system. I'll love to follow up the like for my little cat, for my little kids. And you should, or at least consider it, because once you set those procedures in place, it reduces the chaos. In the US, they have the traffic lights. Green is go, yellow is start to stop, and red means stop. If we didn't have those systems in place, cars would be coming from this direction, cars coming from that direction, and no one is going to stop. No one is going to stop. And that is nothing but chaos. Hey, Miriam, thank you so much for joining me. And Miriam, I love your post, and I hope that you'll continue to practice your sentences because you are doing an amazing job. I am so proud of you. I want you to know that. I am so proud of you. Let's see. And for my Facebook group, thank you so much for joining me as well. Now, I want to remind you guys at the close of every night before midnight, I post the vocabulary word for the next day. We've had several days of vocabulary words, and today's vocabulary word is, I still want you to watch. It has posted. Has anyone in YouTube seen the vocabulary word for today? Miriam, do you know what the vocabulary word is for today? Well, it's not for today, it's for tomorrow, but I have posted the for tomorrow. Word for tomorrow is hospitality. The phonetic sound that is given so that when you're practicing, okay, so La Marana, you did see it. Fantastic. Thank you so much. These vocabulary words are there. La Marana, when I talk to non-native English speakers, this is what you all tell me. You all tell me that you have lots of vocabulary words. Yes, Miriam, yes. Extraordinary is the word. Extraordinary is our vocabulary word for tomorrow. And I want those of you who are watching the live stream tonight to be sure to practice using this one vocabulary word at least 7 times within 24 hours. The magic number is 7. Anything that you do for 7 times, you do it 7 times consecutively, you will be able to retain it. You can't miss a day. You cannot miss a day. You do not need to use the word 7 times a day, but it would be perfect if you could. But if you use the word 7 times consecutively, then you're going to have the plethora of vocabulary words that you're not just putting in a book, but you have vocabulary words that you can use. Now, some of the words that we have had before are accountable, and this is just for the month of January. Accountable, previous, petrified, and tonight we have extraordinary. Well, and when we're doing these things and we're using these vocabulary words, okay, La Marana says, okay, I'll do it at least 10 times twice a day. Okay, well, don't overcommit. Don't overcommit. Just commit to 1 time a day and then do it as often as you can. But you must do it for 7 consecutive days. Hi, Mary. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm really happy that my Facebook group is here. My Facebook family is here. Yes, accountable is one of the words. And when you think about accountable, Miriam, we know that we hold ourselves accountable for what we do. And when we do this, it becomes natural. When we start on this path, it becomes natural. We've had previous occasions to learn these words. And when we do this, we can put ourselves in the spotlight. Very good, Miriam. Miriam has used the vocabulary words. She's posted the vocabulary words that we are learning for the month of January. So remember, we learn one vocabulary word every single day instead of just making a list of vocabulary words that are useless. We hold ourselves accountable. Now we're coming upon the hour that I will end my live stream. I want to mention again that Owning Your Voice, the course is now available for those of you who would like to schedule yourselves into the program. The course is like a university course. It is 3 months in length, but you're never left alone. That's the beauty of my course. You will have me for 3 consecutive months, and we meet 3 times each week. And here is the bonus. You have office hours. You have access to me 24/7. You have a private Facebook group. It's just for the members. And you have a private Telegram group that is just for the members. You are not going to find a program anywhere else online, on campus, in a facility like what I'm offering you. So if you believe that you can improve your ability to speak English with fluency, I'd like for you to schedule an appointment to talk with me so that we can look at the plan of action so that you can hold yourself accountable, and you are going to find that you're going to be in the spotlight, and we're going to say you will not need to be petrified about anything that you see or come across. All right, so I'm going to say again, thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining me today. Mary, thank you so much for joining me today. Miriam, I'm so happy that you're here with me on YouTube. Lamarana, thank you so much for joining me. And I enjoyed having you as my co-host tonight. I'm Dr. Priscilla, a native English speaker, and I live in the US. Until my next live stream, which will be tomorrow at the same time, enjoy your day. Bye for now. And to my Facebook family, thank you so much for joining me.